Is it running away or is it an intentional exit? Okay, hello. I am going to keep this video really short. As you can see, I am back here in Bali, back at my house, back at my home, back at my villa. And fortunately, the good thing that I can share is that this will be 9 days already consecutively that I have been creating content. My goal, if you have been following this series, is that I wanted to create content or vlog or basically just create content for 21 days in a row. And I also had some other intentions and goals for the 21 days. I haven't been able to achieve everything that I had intended. However, I am so grateful that I'm now back in Bali and I'm going to just reset and refocus and obviously be surfing and prioritizing my work and content creation and starting this podcast that I have been doing a lot of research about. So as you can see, I was in G-Land and I was supposed to stay for 6 nights. However, I cut my trip short. I won't go into any details. However, I just left. I'm quite still upset and disappointed and sad and angry, a lot of these emotions. However, I left on a boat this morning and I arrived back at, I think it was about 1 p.m. Bali time, and then I got back to my house here in the afternoon. Fortunately, I booked a massage and the massage was wonderful. I came back and I just went to get some food. I'm going to plug into my screens and just get to a little bit of work. And then I got some dessert from Alchemy. I ate dinner at Alchemy. But how I started just this video was running away or an intentional exit. And yeah, it wasn't so much that I could say I ran away from the situation, but I suppose that I'm grateful to have the liberty to choose whether, to have the power of choice. And we all have the power of choice in how we show up, in how we think, how we behave, how we respond, how we react, how we are. And nobody can ever change the past. And of course, nobody ever knows what the future is. Fortunately, I am grateful that I can draw on tools of my spiritual practices, meditation, yoga, gratitude, as well as the personal development work, the inner development journey that I focus on, the mindset mastery that I focus on. And that was really hard for me. That was really hard for me. Like last night, there was a situation and I just was watching things on YouTube. Just shorts, actually mainly about animals. And then even this morning, I was trying to process everything that had happened. And I was still in a state. And even like leaving on the boat this morning and then being on the boat and even in the car ride on the way back, I was still really upset. And I've had a lot of tears. I've had a lot of emotions come up. And a friend of mine had voice noted, we were sending a few voice notes, and they had said, it doesn't matter about the details. What's happened has happened. The most important thing to focus on is what was triggering me and, why did I feel sad, or what's coming up for me, and to address that. And of course, as we always know, to have no expectations of anyone or anything. So I kind of wrote some notes on my phone as we were going on the boat. I was listening to some music, and sometimes I have downloads, so I record them. And yeah, it was actually hard for me to relax. The massage felt really good in my body, but it was still difficult for me to switch my mind off. It was still racing with everything. So, but this afternoon and just at dinner, I was again just listening to some things for work. Again, I've been doing a lot of research and starting to write some notes because I'm planning this new podcast. Whether I'm pretty much sure, of course, I'm going to record the podcast video. But I've been doing my cats are also very happy to see me. They're outside playing with the frog. they were very happy to see me, and I'm very happy to see them. I do love my cats. Yeah, I guess I still need some time to process everything, to create an awareness and to process everything, and then ultimately, obviously, to let things go. And I could already see that I was embodying detachment already, because as soon as I had decided, when I figured out the logistics to leave the island, to leave G-Land, I was like, yep, that's it, I'm going. And my mind was made up. Sometimes I can say that I can be very indecisive, and with my personality structure, I can be easily influenced, and as a Gemini, I'm an air sign, so I'm here, there, and everywhere. However, there are times like when I make a decision and I know something, like decisions made, and that can sometimes be determination, it can be stubbornness, or it can just be focused mindset. Yeah, I feel pretty upset, to tell you the truth. I feel really upset, and it's been if you've been following, where I've just really only been filming the last 9 days, but one of the talking head videos that I did maybe a few videos back, I can link it down below. Every situation, everything that unfolds for us in our life, in our day-to-day, it's placed there for a reason. And even if we don't understand that, it is, that's the lessons, right? Is that at the end of the day, you cannot change what happened, but you can be mindful of in moving forwards with how you respond and how you react and what you learn from the situation, the experience, the lesson. So I guess it's a matter for me now just to allow myself to unpack. And I literally, as I got back, straight away, usually takes me a few days, I'm really tired, but I unpacked my bags, my surfboard bag, and I want to focus on a clear space around me. That's another practice for decluttering the mind, and the practice of detachment and embodying having that space, because when there's space, more can flow into our life. At least I've come home to a clean house, I've unpacked my bags, and now it's the physical structure has been unpacked. Now it's about mentally unpacking and processing and making sense of what happened. And I wrote down that I was listening to a podcast as I was just coming back into Bali, and it said the universe, Kathleen Cameron quoted and I wrote down embodied detachment. And this is one of the topics that I'm going to have, one of the titles for one of the podcast episodes is embodied detachment. And her quote, and I'll link it down below as well, is from her podcast, episode 72 from Apple Podcasts I was listening to, Kathleen Cameron. It says, the universe will give you opportunities to self-define. And I can now already, just in this moment, reading back what I have written and taking just this moment now to reflect, is that this trip, and even the first day when I snapped my board and the situation that I had, it's an opportunity to redefine, to self-define myself. And it's like, I feel like I've, in some ways, like I've been on a good path. And I really focus on being really aware and mindful and always focusing in all my areas of life to be the best version of myself. In the water, with my friends, when it comes to relations and interactions with men, with family, with animals, when I'm on my own, when I'm in any situation in my day-to-day life, I try to show up and be positive and be authentic and genuine and real. And I was just really shocked at what happened and disappointed. And I was angry last night, and maybe that wasn't the best. It wasn't like I was, like yelling. My voice was raised, but I wasn't like yelling. But I was clearly upset, and I'd been crying, and I said I didn't, want to talk at the time. And I still don't want to talk. I still don't feel like talking to anybody about anything that happened. I'm not ready to yet. For me, I need to do the work on my own to process it all. And like that quote said, this is an opportunity for me to self-define and for me to be aware and reflect on my values and to be aware of why am I being triggered and what can I do better or different moving forward. And I suppose that's for you as well to think about, is when you are faced with adversity, with challenge, with a situation that may not be in flow as you thought it may have been, is what can you do to bring awareness to that? What can you ask yourself? Why are you being triggered? What is being activated? What feels unnerving within you? And to ask those empowering questions, what are you feeling? And to think, what would you love instead? So that's something that I also need to ask, that I have learned from my mentor, Kathleen Cameron, from the manifestation program that I'm enrolled with or a part of. What would I love instead? And so that's everything for me to do on my own, to process and journal. So that's what I will be doing. This video is short and it is just as it is. However, I also am staying accountable to the challenge, and I have now successfully created and filmed 9 days of content in a row. That feels good. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate if you made it to the end of this video. I would love your support by subscribing to my channel if you found some value here, and you could give it a thumbs up. That would be wonderful as well. I will see you next video. Thank you.